Welcome to Veil Speak, where shadows hold secrets and every whisper hides a story. In this space, we explore the unseen, the unknown, and the unspoken. Tonight, as the rain taps against your window and darkness settles in, let me guide you into a world where reality blurs with the strange and eerie. Brace yourself for a tale that will make you question what's real and what lurks just beyond the veil. You're about to experience the kind of story that sticks with you long after it's over. Ready? Let's begin. It was a night just like any other. Rain cascading against the windows, the occasional rumble of thunder in the distance. Aditi had always loved rainy nights. There was something peaceful about the rhythmic pattering of the raindrops. She sat alone in her living room, curled up on the couch with a cup of tea. Outside, the sky darkened as the storm rolled in, the wind howling through the trees. Aditi felt a shiver run down her spine, but shrugged it off. She glanced at the large mirror across the room, the one mounted on the wall above her TV. She had always liked that mirror. It made the room feel bigger, brighter. But tonight, something felt different. She caught a glimpse of herself reflected in the glass. But for just a moment, her reflection seemed a beat behind. A delay, as though the person in the mirror wasn't her at all, but something else. She blinked, dismissing it as a trick of the light, a result of the dimness in the room and her tired eyes. But the strange feeling stayed with her, lingering at the back of her mind as the storm outside intensified. The lights flickered just for a second, and in that flash, she saw her reflection again. This time, it was smiling, a wide, unsettling grin that she knew she wasn't wearing. Her breath caught in her throat. She stared at the mirror, but everything seemed normal again. She could see herself sitting there, motionless, her expression blank, just like it should be. Maybe it was the storm, maybe she was just tired, but that smile, it had felt so real, so wrong. Aditi tried to shake the thought, telling herself it was all in her head. But as the rain poured down harder and the wind whipped at the windows, she found herself glancing back at the mirror more and more frequently. Each time her reflection looked a little more off. A hand raised slightly before she moved, a head tilted just a bit differently. It was subtle at first, but now it was undeniable. Her reflection was no longer following her movements exactly. It was slower, or faster, or doing things she hadn't done. She stood up, her eyes glued to the mirror. Her reflection stood with her, but that same twisted grin stretched across its face. Aditi's heart raced, her pulse thundering in her ears. She backed away slowly, and to her horror, her reflection stayed still, watching her with those cold, hollow eyes. The lights flickered again, and this time the reflection moved, but not as she did. It took a step forward toward the glass. Her mind was screaming at her to run, but her feet felt glued to the floor. The reflection raised a hand, pressing it against the inside of the mirror, as if testing its surface. Aditi stumbled backward, crashing into the coffee table, knocking her cup to the floor. She didn't move an inch, yet her reflection began walking toward her, pressing against the glass, as though it could come through at any moment. Aditi turned and ran, darting through the hallway, her feet slipping on the wooden floor. She reached the front door, fumbling with the lock, but it wouldn't budge. The windows, the back door, everything was locked tight, as if the house itself was trapping her inside. She ran back to the living room, only to find the reflection standing in the middle of the room now, no longer confined to the mirror. It smiled that wide, twisted grin, slowly raising a hand as if inviting her to join it. The room grew colder. She could see her breath fogging in the air. The figure took another step toward her. Aditi backed up until she was pressed against the wall. The mirror on the wall, her mirror, was now cracked, a web of jagged lines splintering across its surface, as though it had been shattered from the inside. She let out a scream as the reflection lunged forward, but instead of grabbing her, it reached into the air, and in a split second, Aditi felt her world spin. It was as if the room turned upside down. When she opened her eyes, she wasn't in her living room anymore. She was inside the mirror, staring out at her home, trapped behind the glass. Her reflection, no, the creature that had taken her place, was now standing where she had been moments before. It smiled, a chilling expression that sent a shudder through her, and then it turned away, leaving her trapped in the cold, distorted world behind the glass, screaming for help that no one would ever hear. As Aditi stood frozen, trapped behind the glass, she realized with growing horror that no one would ever know she was there. Her body remained in the living room, but her soul, her very being, was sealed inside the cold, distorted world of reflections. From her side of the mirror, she watched the creature, her double, walk through the house, imitating her perfectly, down to every small movement, every breath. The twisted smile was gone, replaced by an expression so calm it was chilling. It was only when she saw it pick up her phone, typing out a message to her closest friends, that the full weight of her fate hit her. They would never suspect a thing. Her screams echoed in the emptiness behind the glass, unheard, unheeded. And as the reflection walked away, Aditi was left to face her eternity, alone, invisible, forgotten. So the next time you glance in a mirror and see something that feels off, don't dismiss it too quickly. You might not be the only one looking.
If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Veil Speak for more dark and thrilling tales. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a story that will keep you up at night.